Hello everyone. Today I'd like to start with a quote from C.S Lewis from The Great Divorce. You cannot, in your present state, understand eternity. They say of some temporal suffering, no future bliss can make up for it, not knowing that heaven, once attained, will work backwards and turn even that agony into glory. And of some sinful pleasure, let me but have this, and I'll take the consequences. Little dreaming how damnation will spread back and back into their past and contaminate the pleasure of the sin. Both processes begin even before death. The good man's past begins to change so that his forgiven sins and remembered sorrows take on the quality of heaven. The bad man's past already conforms to his badness and is filled with dreariness. And that is why the blessed will say, we have never lived anywhere except heaven, and the lost, we were always in hell, and both will speak truly. I've come up with a bit of a philosophy on beauty that I think it's hard to make it without at least some pain. You know, when people learn to play an instrument, they take the time, the discipline, the pain to learn the instrument. They going through all the mistakes and all the things that are involved in learning an instrument, but it takes a lot of discipline to learn how to do so. And in that process, they accept a certain amount of pain in the discipline of doing that. Some of the best people I've ever known that do the most for others have had the most fucked up backgrounds. They were some of the roughest people have been through the worst shit. But they're some of the best people I know, despite having gone through the things that they did. And this quote, I hope for you, puts this into some perspective how your past affects your present. You know, it says hell works its way backwards as well as heaven. Being a man of virtue, of the good, will work its way backward into your past, and the same with bad deeds. And I just want you to take the time to think about that a little bit. It really affects who you are as a person. You know, most things that you do that you know you're not supposed to do, the pleasure you get from it doesn't last very long anyway. It's like being drunk. It's fun while you're drunk, but then you wake up and you have a hangover, and it feels like hell. And the same can be said for a man who lives well. The moment is painful, but the future isn't. This quote really affected me. I remember reading it for the first time, and I haven't forgotten it since. It's really struck me that, your past definitely affects your future, and you need to be worried about gaining virtue and letting go of your vice because of this, because it will work its way backwards. Maybe right now you spend your day in sloth, you play video games, you masturbate to porn, you have a lot of fantasies, and that will work its way backwards. If you become the 30, 40, 50-year-old man and in his parents' basement doing those things, the pleasure of the moment, the getting lost in a game or the orgasm, it will turn into pain and misery. Because, again, the pleasures were only in the moment, but they have no meaning to you in your future. They actually turn into a kind of pain because you regret having done those things, because they, at the end of the day, they actually kind of disgust you. And it begins to fill your mind more and more. It starts off as only a seed, but it turns into a long-term pain that you can't let go of. And you know, the thing is, like I said, like you're talking about learning like an instrument, learning to play something beautiful, playing like a beautiful piece. The pain of the discipline in the moment is awful. But and even if you're not like a great piano player or great on the guitar or something, but in the future, you know, you can play something beautiful. You can play something pretty decent, and you're at some holiday dinner, and you've taken this discipline and you've turned it into something. You've turned the pain into virtue, and the pain of the discipline turns into a moment of joy with your family. This, you know, playing the instrument, making a bit of beauty for them. So you accepted a certain amount of short-term pain for long-term gain, or you took the other route and you took the short-term pleasure for long-term pain. And these things, of course, they apply to much bigger principles. They apply to much more important concepts. And I hope this works as an example for you, and that you can take the time to think about it and start working on the things that are more important, and letting go of your vices and starting to embrace virtue. I did this video to help at least hopefully give you some perspective as we keep talking about the virtues and the 7 deadly sins, so that you have perhaps a reason to learn them, to gain them, and to let go of vice, to let go of the things that hurt you. I hope this helps you. Have a good day.